Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be joining in with the March Scrap the Boys challenge. The prompt for this month was a picture of the night sky, and the quote was, "It's written in the stars and the moon." So I'm going to go ahead and use this photo of my little boy sleeping. This is when he was only 5 days old. And off camera there, as you can see, I've just trimmed off a little bit of the paper, the border edge, mainly because the backside was that beautiful floral and I want to use that as a border on another layout. Plus this, I think it's called ink depth. This paper is very dark, so I just want to lighten it up with a white border. Now I'm going ahead and taking some cream cardstock here. This is going to be my moon, and I'm just using my little compass to draw out some circles. I could have done this in my silhouette, but it's such a simple shape I couldn't be bothered. And for this layout, I'm mainly using my kits from the Scrapbook Kit Club. I've got the main kit and the pretty little, not the pretty little kit, the pretty little kit, so the Project Life sort of style kit. So it's got a few extra bits and pieces in it. So that paper is from the main kit, and now I'm just going ahead and backing my photo with a little bit of white tissue paper. Struggling placing it for some reason, I don't know. Yeah, so mostly what I use is from the Scrapbook Kit Clubs this month. This is my first month subscribing and I'm really loving everything so far. It's all full of the Cocoa Vanilla Midnight collection, which is absolutely stunning. And this month's challenge, Scrap the Boys challenge, is sponsored by Cocoa Vanilla, so I thought it was appropriate to use their products. So taking forever to do this. So you can see I'm battling with my fan a bit there. It's blowing and I'm trying to fight it. It's really hot where I live at the moment. Today I think it was 39 degrees Celsius, so yeah, I have my fan on all the time. So now I'm just going to add a bit of texture to my moon, and I'm using this Kaisercraft template stencil. It's called Snowy. It's meant to be snow, but I thought it was perfect for some craters. So I'm adding those in with a sponge dauber and a Tim Holtz Distress ink in Milled Lavender, I believe the colour is. And I had a pretty good idea with what I wanted to go, in what direction I wanted to go with this layout. So these wood veneer are from Kaisercraft. I can't remember the exact collection. I will have a look and pop it in the description box if you're interested, or just leave me a comment, I'll tell you. But I knew it had a few stars in it, and it's got some clouds as well that I'll pull in a minute. But I kind of had the idea that I wanted the stars to sort of be hanging from the moon. So I'm going through the they're cardstock die cut titles from the Midnight collection, and I knew it had sweet in there, so I wanted my title to be Sweet Dreams. So I had this all pretty well set out in my head. That doesn't happen very often. And I've seen a layout similar to this, so I'm sort of scrap lifting, but I can't remember where I saw it, and I couldn't find an image really, so kind of scrap lifting, but not really. So that those chipboard pieces I'm using there are the Bonjour alphas from Dear Lizzie, and they came in the main Scrapbook kit this month, so they're really beautifully sparkly. So I'm using those to spell out dreams, and I'm also taking the two asterisks in the pack and adding them into my little star cluster there. So what I did there off camera was not off camera, oh god, I can't speak today, I think I'm getting sick. So on my moon, I went around the edges with some more Distress ink, and that was the brushed corduroy colour. It's just a sort of dark, sort of golden brown, just to sort of define the edges. I thought the moon was looking a little bit blah, not really standing out very well. So I've also gone ahead and backed that with some adhesive foam, as you saw there. Now this black and white stripy card, you can see it's got the Scrapbook Kit Club logo on the front. That's actually packaging. I think it's a sequin packaging, but I thought it was perfect for this layout, so I'm going to use it. I always use packaging if I can. So there, it sort of echoes the check in his blanket that he's laying on there as well, and the black and white that's in the title. So digging into the chipboard here, I pulled out this frame. It's a beautiful pink and white one out of the chipboard pack. I was not sure about using pink. It is a boy layout, but And I don't mind using pink on boy layouts, but I have a little baby girl as well, and I sort of I don't want their baby photos to get confused because they look so similar, but I end up really liking it. I put a few other pink pops in there as well, and I'm sort of balancing it out with some blue. And it is a very dark layout, so I thought the light pink sort of softened it a bit. That blue card that I'm popping in there is from the Reject Shop. I can't even remember which collection. I've just been looking at Rosie's Studio online. They've just opened a shop. It's a New Zealand brand, and they stock all the stuff. It's their brand basically is the stuff that you get in the Reject Shop. I didn't realise that until now, but yeah. So if you're international, definitely go have a look at their website. And now I'm writing out some journaling on some white cardstock strips. I don't actually end up using this. I use the journaling, the same words, but I don't really like how the strips look, so I put it somewhere else. And now I'm digging back into that wood veneer, and those are the clouds I mentioned. I'm just taking white acrylic paint and I'm just dabbing it on with my finger. For one reason, it goes on a bit thicker this way, and it also gave a little bit of texture that kind of looked a bit like sort of fluffy clouds, which I liked. Then I'll just put them aside to dry while I work on the rest of the layout. Now I'm coming in with some gesso. I wanted to sort of separate that moon from the dark background a little. I really like the idea of putting in some clouds, so I'm just going to go in with my finger and the white gesso and sort of build up a little cloud cluster on either side. And I'm trying to smooth it out towards the edges so it looks kind of soft and wispy. It is a little baby layout, and it's like, this paper is very dark, so I want to soften it a little as much as possible. So I think you have to sort of get that balance sometimes between a masculine layout and it being a baby boy layout. So this goes on for quite a while. I don't make you watch it all, but I just want it to be a little bit more opaque towards the middle, towards the photo. And then I'm going to take a little bit extra and I'm just sort of going to fluff it up towards the top of the paper because it's got that sort of ombre, wishy-washy sort of effect going on anyway. So okay, now I'm going to go ahead with a little bit of, or a bit more mixed media. These are the watercolor, pearlized watercolors from Spotlight, Semco brand. They're only about $9, they're really cheap. They're really nice and sparkly and there's lots of colors. So I'm just going ahead and putting in a few splatters with this very light silvery, almost blue, it's more silver than blue color. And then I'm just popping in a few little, gosh, I can't speak tonight, a few bigger spots with my brush. Excuse me. Definitely getting sick. Okay, so now I'm pulling out my Kaisercraft Gold Mist. It's very gold and shimmery, it's really pretty, and I'm just going to splatter that all over my moon. I do end up coming in with a bit more of this gold on the main layout as well. I didn't think I wanted to put gold on the background, but it actually looks really beautiful when I'm finished. So now that's done, I'm taking a pencil, and this is actually a metallic colouring in pencil, so it's silver, and it shows up really nice on dark papers. So you can see there, I can see my lines, but I'll also be able to erase it if I need to. So I've just poked some holes there, and I'm going to come in with some hand stitching, and this is beautiful silver embroidery thread from Spotlight, and I'm doing a chain link stitch. So as you can see, the hole that my needle came out of goes back into that same hole, and then it makes a little loop, and then I'm going to come through from the next hole up from the bottom and poke my needle through the loop, and then when I pull it through and pull it down, it will make a nice little chain link stitch. Yeah, sorry, it did go a bit blurry, it's hard to film. And there you go. So I'm going to have my little stars hanging down from underneath the moon. So here I come with my gold ink and splattering. And that gold thread was quite hard to work with, silver thread rather, metallic, I don't think it matters what colour. It sort of caught and grabbed. It wasn't the easiest to work with, but I got there in the end. So off camera, you can see I glued down my moon and my photo cluster, and I did some white machine stitching around the edge after I backed my paper on that white cardstock. So I've just got a white border now. And I'm going to come in and just glue in all my stars. I'm nearly finished at this point, so I'm happy to start gluing things down. Just deciding where all my pretty little stars are going to go. I thought about painting the stars, but I decided against it. I like the wood veneer. Okay, so popping in my title, I'm just going to pop up the sort of second half of the die cut here because my moon is up on foam and I sort of want to layer it like that. Go, lovely. And I'm just bringing in my square ruler to line up my chipboard alphas. I do end up, actually I left them on that plastic too long and most of the sticky came off the back, so I do add a little bit of glue. It doesn't affect them though, just put a bit of glue in. There we go. I wish you could see how sparkly they are in real life. They're beautiful. Adding in that little Love You chipboard from the chipboard pack. And now these are in the pretty little kit this month. They're little tags from, I can't remember the brand. They're sort of adhesive and there's like a box full. They're all joined together, but they've got the sticky back, which is really cool. So now I'm just going to put for my journaling my son's name, how old he was and the date. Nothing crazy. And I do end up ruining this first tag. I smeared the ink, so I had to pull another one out and fix it. Yeah, playing with those chipboard hearts. I do end up putting one in, but not there. So I'm just going to cut the top off that tag so it can sit at the top of my layout, just sort of there. And you can see I've pulled out one of the little flare buttons. That Shine Bright. I liked it because it brought in a little bit more pink. And I'm trying to use these flare buttons a little bit more. I also put in a little die cut from the Reject Shop. I think it just says Lovely, and I cut a banner tag sort of shape out of the end. Glue in my little chipboard clouds. I wasn't actually happy with that top cluster. I'm still not. I really don't know how to fix it though at this point, so I just sort of left it. So going back in with that pencil, that same metallic silver pencil, just to sketch out my lettering before I committed. And then I'm going in with my Uniball Signo broad in white. It didn't cooperate with me. As you can see, look there, when I'm trying to write the one, it wasn't flowing, so I turned the camera off and did it off camera. I was getting really frustrated. So they can be a bit temperamental, those pens. So I do squeeze in this little chipboard heart. I like that it gave that third pop of pink, and it just sort of filled in that little spot. And I've added that little sort of fan die cut you can see up in the top left corner there. Yeah, still not happy with that cluster, but it is what it is, and I'm just going to leave it now. I love the rest of the layout though. I love how the mixed media turned out. I love how it's a masculine layout, but it's still soft, and just I'm really, really happy with it. Really happy with how it turned out. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I really hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Check out the challenge, and I'll leave all the links in the description box. See you next time. Bye, guys.